Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. So I've been laying a little bit of groundwork here for a little bit of expansion, and so I built a second layer of waterfalls as well as a second set of sluice and generator blocks using the mariculture mod. So all I have to do now is right click on this super crafting frame, and it's going to pull out blocks. It's going to pull out rotors that I can just drop right here on the iron construction blocks. And as I've mentioned before, just from a visual aspect, let's take this and tap each one of these so they actually turn in the sort of the right direction, which is a personal pet peeve of mine. And so let's just wire this up again and done. So what am I going to do with all this power? So I'm getting ready for automating the farm, and I ended up running a power conduit under the base all the way back to the hydroelectric generator. And so this is going to be my point, my main housing of the farm blocks. So let's figure out what we need to get going with that. So in order to make a farm block, I'm going to need to craft a electron tube, and that's going to require a Thermionic Fabricator. So we can see here we're going to need a little bit of tin, a little bit of redstone, and actually some sand. But to make a Thermionic Fabricator, I'm going to need that sturdy casing from the rolling machine, as well as another set of gold and glass, which I've already produced right here. So let's go ahead and whip that up. Ta-da! And I'm pretty sure this is going to require redstone power. Alright, let's hook it up right here. There we go. And that's absorbing RF power. So, I guess it did require a little bit of energy. So, what I'm going to need to do is craft up the formula for... there's the redstone force right there. Alright, so let's go back to the electron tubes, and I'm going to need to set up a orchard block when I'm working with Agricraft. So because Agricraft has an additional block type, the crop sticks, I don't want the farm block automating and destroying the crop sticks, because the farm block doesn't know how to replant them. It only knows how to replant seeds, and seeds are generally blocked here because Agricraft is installed. So the way to get around it is to treat it as if you were farming fruit off of trees, and that's where the orchard setting comes in. So this is going to require a number of items. So in order to make this basic farm block, I'm going to need tin electron tubes, which is basically tin and redstone. So now that I have everything, let's see what it takes to build this block. So the pattern here is going to be a couple pieces of tin laid out here in a backwards T shape, and I'm going to need, well, I don't know why it's saying no power. I should be hooked up, but let's throw I brought along essence of fire and earth, so let's build up a quick set of sand and throw that in over here. So now that I have sand, that's going to basically power the device and produce the electron tubes. So not sure how many I'm going to need. I think I need 34, because I'm going for the 3 by 4 by 4. Actually, that's 48. So let's make sure I do this at least 48 times. Alright, that was super strange, because this this little indicator was just all the way up here a second ago. And yep, that's all I need to do is create my 48 electron tubes. So the next step is I'm going to need some wood slabs, some copper, and a lot of stone. Alright, let's get crafting. So let's take the oak wood and lay them out in a horizontal pattern, and then let's whip up some farm blocks. So the last thing we need is stone bricks, not stone. So let's throw that back and grab another stack of stone bricks, and that should allow us to make 24 so far farm blocks. So that's half of what I need. For some reason I let my copper levels drop, so let me just grab those and see if I can make, yep, the last of the farm blocks. So let's head back over and plan out how we're gonna lay this out. So the key here is I'm probably gonna need to have an access port. Let's just say here for now. Yep, that'll do. That'll do. And that'll allow me to get into the underside of the farm here once I seal everything in. So what I'm planning is to have a little bit sticking out the top, maybe just this layer on top. So I'm going to go with the fourth layer down. So, yep, that looks pretty good to me. So this will be what the top will look like once everything's all complete. So let's fill in the rest of the multi-block with the farm blocks. So 3, there needs to be one more layer here. And unlike the other multi-blocks, this kind has to be filled in with a solid pattern. And if this works, then I should be able to just right-click and get this interface. So this is the farm block interface. Alright, so the interface itself looks a little intimidating, but in reality it isn't. So over here is the water gauge. So in order for this to work, we're going to have to feed water to the farm. So I can do this by placing buckets in this bottom left socket, or I can pump water in by using a farm valve block. So the farm valve is pretty simple. If I could just find the right variety, let's pick one. So you just take a normal valve, a little bit of or farm block with a little bit of glass, and a tin gear. Tin gear is just stone wrapped with tin, etc., etc. So up here is the control for how you want things to grow around the farm. So this is laid out in north, south, east, west relative to the cardinal directions in game. So if you imagine the layout is sort of like a giant diamond around the center part of the farm block, and so you can sort of break this into 4 separate pieces along the diagonals, and so you can have up to 4 different crops auto-farmed by the farm block, or we can leave it in manage mode where we'll take care of it ourselves. Down here is fertilizer, which might be the one thing that's holding me back. So fertilizer, powder, well, no, actually what I need to do is make regular forestry fertilizer, which, near as I can tell, I can make by combining saltpeter, sand, and dirt in order to make the fertilizer. So I don't have this concentrated compound yet, which seems like it's something that I can grow from bees. So I'm going to have to stick with this one, which means I'm going to have to burn down that saltpeter ore that I found out in the nether as part of that collection quest. So over here in the upper right is where you would normally put seeds. And so those would be the seeds that would be auto-planted by the farm. And down in the bottom right is where the output of the farm would, so after the farm collects the items from the plants, this is where things would queue up. And I can extract those by using a farm hatch. And so that's just a trapdoor with tin gears, and then you can plug in a a pump or something to pump items out into another storage system. So that covers the block. Now the gearbox is also an important thing. This is the ability to connect it up to an RF power source. So I'm going to have to create one of those. And then the last piece is the farm control, which is what allows me to dictate what kind of farm this is. So up here in the center is a little socket, and that's where I can put an empty socket. So that is where I can place a circuit board. So now there's a couple different kinds of circuit boards, and what I'm going to need is this intrinsic circuit board, which is pretty easy to make in the carpentry block. It's just gold and redstone. And then I can lay those out with electron tubes to kind of dictate what style of farm I want it to behave as. So let me start getting my material ready, and then I'll cut right back. Alright, I'm back, and I think I'm ready to go. So let's start by making the tin gears, since I'm going to need quite a supply of these. So first off, I'm going to need a lot more sticks. So let's take some oak wood and, well, make a few sticks. Then work our way backwards here, and let's make 8 of them for now. Actually, yeah, let's go with 12. And yeah, so that should be 12 should be good enough for everything. So let's make 12 stone gears, followed by 12 tin gears. So going back to the farm block, from the stone bricks, this will be the base block for a gearbox, the farm hatch, the farm valve, and then the farm control. So I'm going to need to make one more golden electron tube, but I should be able to make the other items right here. So let's make a trapdoor just as a quick craft. Alright, here we go. 2 trapdoors. And let's grab a couple of pieces of the farm blocks so I can use those in crafting. So first off is, let's grab one of these and 3 of these to produce the farm gearbox. Excellent. So next, we'll do the same thing and produce the farm valve. Excellent. Now we'll need a hatch, so let's make that. Farm hatch. And then let's head down and make that electron tube. Okay, so let's make ourselves one electron tube. So this shouldn't be that difficult, unless I, of course, reverse the formula. So let's try that again. No? Okay. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Alright, so let's make ourselves a golden electron tube. So grab one of these, and then the next thing I want to do is make 4 copper. Now let's grab that out, and then grab the copper electron tube. Great. And so what I'm going to need is that circuit board next. And so an intrinsic circuit board is redstone and gold, a little bit of water in the carpenter block. So let's head over here, and what I'm missing is the water. So And I also seem to misplace my bucket, so let's quick craft up a bucket and grab a little bit of water and throw it into the carpenter block. Great. So, yep, so I reversed the formula, unfortunately, so let's flip this around. There we go. One intricate circuit board. Alright, it's almost finished. So I seem to be running out of power on all my machines, and even though I have 2 layers of hydroelectric generation, it is really not working for me. So I'm going to start looking into what the next level of power production is. I think it might be a steam engine combination. So let's head back up to the other crafting area so I can get a piece of bronze, and that way I can get started here on the soldering iron. So the soldering iron is going to have to go back in the carpenter block. So the soldering iron is what we need to attach electron tubes to the circuit board, so that way when we plug the circuit board in, it can whoops, I don't want that. No, no, no. Let's go back to here. Okay, break that formula. Great. There we go. Let's throw the bronze in the middle and a little bit of iron here. There we go. Alright, so that should create the soldering iron. Yes. Alright, that's done. And let's see if I can get this aligned correctly. So, from what I saw, yes, so if I right-click on holding the soldering iron, what I need to do is place in the intricate board in the upper right, and then I'm going to need the copper to program that I need for orchard type blocks here. So here I have 4 arboretums. So let's take that circuit board and head back up. Alright, so the last piece I'm going to need is the farm control. So the farm control is just going to take our normal block, that golden electron tube, and then a little bit of redstone on the side. So let's finish this off with our stone farmer's block. Farm control. Alright, great. So let's move everything down in the main inventory so that way we can start plugging things back in. So my understanding is that we're going to need a hatch on top. We're going to need a valve on the bottom. And let's see, I think I can plug the farm control on the top. So let's put these blocks down and then head underneath. The gearbox I'm going to want to connect here. I can put that in the corner, I think. And yep, so that'll allow the kinesis pipe to connect up. And then the last piece is I need a valve block here for water. And let's place the last 2 blocks in the corner. If I did it right, which I didn't, I cannot access the multi-block anymore. So let's try moving the let's move these off the corners and place them. Okay, let's just put them in the center right here. So let's do the gearbox and the valve, and let's plug in the farm blocks here in the corner and make sure I can. Oh, I cannot click them. Alright, I figured out my problem, and it has to do with the farm control. So it turns out that this is not related, does not do what I thought it does. What it does is it introduces the ability to add redstone control to the farm. And so when you're in the off state, basically it was missing that connection. That's why the farm wasn't working. So what I need to do now is place the circuit board here in the center of the farm. And so I've essentially activated it. All I'm going to need to do is fill up the water and then work on adding fertilizer to the bottom. So let's get going on the fertilizer formula next. So I melted down the saltpeter in this furnace, and let's figure out what I need to make that creation here. So I'm going to need a little bit of sand, a little bit of dirt. Let's see what I have up here if I have to run down. Yep, okay. Let's quick run and get the dirt. All right. So first things first is let's make a little bit of sand by, this should be old hat by now, but I still seem to reverse it. So let's grab a stack of sand. I have a stack of dirt, and I have my saltpeter. So let's whip up enough fertilizer here. Okay, so 48 will do for now. And let's start adding water to the contraption here. And there we go. That'll add in. Let's add the fertilizer in the bottom, and let's find something to automate. So what I could really use, well, you know what? Let's just start off with some coal. You know what? I probably didn't need to do that because I have my clipper. Why don't I just manage it that way? So let's, no, actually I do need the seeds. Okay, that's why. Actually, okay, now I'm really confused. Let's do it both ways. Let's grab a couple of seed packets, and then let's just place down a couple of crop sticks, and then, yes, because I need to turn this into tilled soil. All right, so, yep, I forgot the magical crops can only grow on tilled soil, so let's take care of that, and then throw down our sticks, and then throw down some seeds. Okay, so let's grab those seed packets and also throw these down. Yep, that's working fine. So let's check on the block itself. So no farmland, no fertilizer, no water. All right, let's turn that off. And it looks like all of my warnings went away, and it's actually starting to consume some of the fertilizer. So I think what's going to happen is that the farm is going to start sweeping through and identifying when why do I keep doing that? And it's going to identify when there's crops to basically hit with a bone meal effect from the fertilizer. And so what I'm going to need to do is basically amp this up. I need to add a lot of water. Yep, okay. And I'm curious to see what happens when this works its way down. So what I'm going to do is just basically fill all the way around with one of every seed type, and then let the automation work. Alright, so all the coal has grown, but none of it's being collected by the farm, and I think I figured out why. So It has to do with this intricate circuit board is set up as a managed farm, where in reality I need to take the circuit board and change this to a manual farm using this right arrow. And then with that, I should be able to place in 4. There we go. And so now it's listed as an orchard, not as a arboretum. So let's try to place this in. There we go. So now it's changed to a different icon. And oh, there we go. Awesome. So I guess that lever was reversed again. Okay, so now I've kind of proven that the farm will auto-collect. It's going to dump all the essence here. Oh, awesome. And at that point, I need a way to pump out essence. Okay. Sure. Obsidian, coal. Oh my gosh, it's grabbing too much. Look at how far this is. Okay, well maybe I have a feeling that the mod may have doubled the range of the farm block. Okay, that's very interesting. I did not expect that, but that also means that I'm going to have to restructure this whole area if the farm's going to be able to reach this far. Wow, that's a lot of space. All right, let me regroup and figure out where to go from here. Hello everyone, I'm back, and this is the manual automated farm. So over here I've transposed all of the Agricraft crops that were previously taking up a whole bunch of patches here over by the item area. I've laid them all out, moved stuff from upstairs to downstairs, patches of 9 and 12. And what I learned, I did a little bit of creative mode testing over in another file, and it looks like these farm blocks have a 10 block radius. So I needed to restructure the layout, and I think I'm ready to throw the switch. There we go. So this should eventually activate in a second, I should hope, and see that it can, it's got plenty of water, plenty of fertilizer. It's got farmland everywhere at the right height. So, alright, so I really don't understand what's going wrong here. So, what I'm doing is I'm adding water to the system. It's being absorbed. And if I switch this to off, then the water is absorbed and it is gathering material, but I just don't understand why the lever wasn't working earlier. Well, so in any case, I'm going to have to invent a water source system that's going to keep this farm continuously filled with water, so that way it can cycle through and collect this entire area automatically. And then I'm going to need to invent a item pump system to bring this essence out and probably drop it into a controller block that'll feed a network of storage drawers. So with that, I am going to call this an episode. I think I made some interesting progress here with the automated farm. I just wish I could get it to work a little more consistency, but I think I'll be able to do that with a little more time. And unfortunately, time's not a commodity I have right now, so I'm going to be going on a vacation for the next week. So sorry that there won't be more episodes, but by the time I get back, I'll get right back into the swing of things, and I'll be right back in Regrowth. So with that, please leave a comment or a like, and I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye!